In the summer of 2026, a 41-year-old man walked onto a World Cup pitch for the sixth time in his life. No one else in the history of the sport has ever done that. By the time this tournament ended, he'd already made history twice. But the more interesting story isn't what happened in 2026. It's how a kid who once shared one bedroom with 3 siblings in a house with barely enough to eat ended up here at all. This is Cristiano Ronaldo's actual story, not the highlight reel. The parts that almost ended it before it began. Cristiano Ronaldo was born in 1985 in Funchal, Madeira, a small Portuguese island, the youngest of 4 children. His father worked as a kit manager for a tiny local football club and struggled with alcoholism most of his life. His mother worked as a cook and a cleaner, taking whatever job she could to keep the family fed. Money was tight enough that Ronaldo has said the family sometimes struggled just to put food on the table. He played barefoot in the streets, kicking around whatever passed for a ball. His own mother has spoken publicly, years later, about just how difficult those early days were financially for their family, hardship that shaped everything that came next. At 8 years old, he joined Madeira, the same small club his father worked for. It wasn't glamorous, it was just the beginning. At 12, his talent had already outgrown the island. He left home alone to join Sporting CP's academy in Lisbon, hundreds of miles from his family. It was brutal. He was homesick, missed his family badly, and was reportedly teased by other kids for his thick Madeiran accent. By his own account, and others close to him, there were nights he genuinely considered giving up and going home. Then, at 15, doctors found something that could have ended everything before it started. A heart condition called tachycardia, his heart racing dangerously fast, even at rest. He needed surgery immediately. His own mother later described it simply. They used a small laser to correct the problem, operating in the morning, and he was out again that same afternoon. He was back training within days, not months, days. 3 years later, in 2003, an 18-year-old Ronaldo played in a friendly match for Sporting against a visiting Manchester United. He didn't just play well, he tore the match apart. Manchester United's legendary manager, Sir Alex Ferguson, was reportedly so impressed he moved to sign him before the final whistle even blew, a then record transfer fee for a teenager. 6 years at Old Trafford later, he'd won 3 Premier League titles, a Champions League trophy, and his first Ballon d'Or, the sport's highest individual honor, in 2008. Here's the part that gets lost behind the trophies, the routine underneath it. By most accounts from people who've trained alongside him, Ronaldo restructured basically his entire life around performance. Multiple short naps instead of one long sleep, around 6 small meals a day, and, by his own account, no alcohol at all, a choice he's connected directly to watching what drinking did to his father. For years, critics said his individual brilliance meant nothing without a major trophy for his country. He answered that directly in 2016, when Portugal won the European Championship. In 2024, he became the first men's player in history to reach 900 official career goals. He kept going from there. Which brings us back to 2026, his 6th World Cup, and by his own confirmation, his last. At 41 years and 132 days old, he became the oldest outfield player to ever start a World Cup match. Then, against Uzbekistan, he became the first male player in history to score in 6 separate World Cups. Portugal's tournament ended with a narrow loss to Spain in the knockout stage. It wasn't a fairy tale final match, but it didn't need to be. The record was already made. He heads toward the end of his playing career sitting at 954 official goals, chasing a milestone, 1,000, that literally no one in the sport's history has ever reached. Strip away the trophies, and what's left is a fairly simple through line. A kid from a struggling family on a small island who very nearly lost his shot at all of this to a heart condition at 15, who kept going anyway. None of that erases the real controversies that have followed him through his career, on and off the pitch. This video isn't the full picture of the man, just the part of his story that's genuinely remarkable on its own terms. That's your OHpedia for today. If this made you go, huh, I never knew that, share it with someone whose brain you like.